What's up, everybody? This is Adam Joad, Scattered Hamlet frontman, Dean guitar artist, the Appalachian Apostle. I go by many names. We're going to be doing a guitar playthrough of Scattered Hamlet's first single off of Wishing Well, Black Flag. And we're going to be breaking down the slide parts to it. If you haven't learned the other parts, you should go back and learn those first, because the slide stuff's a little trickier. The main rhythms and stuff on it is like a lot of chugging and feel and groove. So you should do that first before you hop into this. So equipment-wise, I'm going to be showing you exactly what I used on the album recording. I used my Dean Z79. This one's in the sweet blue finish. I got the sweet blue finish because I saw a video of Nils Lofgren when he was playing an excellent live version of Born to Run with the Boss, and I was like, that guitar is sweet. So when I started working with the Dean fellas, I talked to Josh, respect Josh, and I was like, yeah, I want the blue one because it's badass. So the first part of getting the right tone is you got to get a sweet color. But after you got that figured out, there's not a whole lot of modifications to this. I use pretty heavy strings, high action. It's a slide guitar. So, I use these set of Diodarios here. They're 12 to 52s. I use, 1 millimeter pick. People ask these things. I don't know, just use pick that you got laying around. And pickup wise, I've modified this a bit. It's got a DiMarzio super distortion in the bridge position, and I have a Pearly Gates Seymour Duncan up here. I use them both on. Tone knob turned all the way up, so it's kind of trebly, and I plug it in through a Marshall stack. My Marshall stack sounds better than yours because I have a 1960 largemouth bass and 1977 Smokey and the Bandit square purple anniversary cabinet on the bottom. Distortion wise, I just use the Amps Natural Distortion for the main stank. For the secondary stank, I have a rat pedal here. My rat pedal's been modded. It has an extra T on it, and it dances undercover. And if you click it on, like Stephen Piercy and stuff will go, slip, slip, slip the lip, like the way you move your hips, or something like that. But anyway, so you got 2 levels of stank. Got a little bit of modulation I use on it. For this one, I use the Rest in Peace Eddie Van Halen Respect phase pedal. Just to give a little bit of that in and out phase, and that kind of is part of how you get the tone for this on the record. And you tune yourself to D, so that would be D, A, F sharp, A, D. That's how this guitar, open D, so when you hit it, that's with the modulation, you're in D already. The slide I like to use glass slides. I use it on my my ring finger. And if you could also do this on your pinky if you're one guitar player trying to cover everything. I use it on my ring finger because we use 2 guitar players, so you don't have to cover everything. So that way you can just focus on the slide stuff. So with that in mind, there are 2 slide parts to Black Flag. The first slide part comes in the bridge section, and that's when it comes in and you go Leonard Skinner, The Real Black Flag, Motorhead, Get Your Pull, Dime Bag, Clutch, Down, Judas Priest, Waylon Willie, and the Number of the Beast. So behind that, the way I approached the slide on it was I kind of am playing slide to what I'm singing. So it's kind of rhythmical, and it goes along with the pattern of what my voice is doing. As a vocalist playing guitar, that also makes it easier because you're singing what you're playing instead of playing something different, which can cause all kinds of craziness if you've ever tried that before and you're not a master of that. The first groovy part of it is played on the top 2 strings. So you basically go in like this. That's it. Sing it to yourself. Don't worry about notes and stuff like that. You got to get it on the fret. If you should already know something about slide if you're trying to do this video, or it would be chaos. But so you just play it right there in the box. Top 2 strings, ba 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 ba. Leonard Skinner, The Real Black Flag. But that is the first section of slide. That's the easy section. The lead section is a little tricky, and we're going to break it down into 2 parts. So like we said, the lead section for the song, if it comes out of the breakdown, it's got two parts to the slide solo. We got the first part, which is more of a traditional part. It introduces a new riff, and I think the riff variation goes... That's that part. I played it on the recording. I don't play it live, so I probably forgot how to play it. But that's the part that you're going to be playing the first part of the slide riff over. It's da 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 da. And you're going to introduce more of a traditional kind of slide thing. Like for this one, I tried to think of something like Gary Rosington would do in Skinner, and like You Got That Right. You know, he's got some great... Gary Rosington has some great slide work all around. But in that song, I kind of was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I would like something like that for this section. So after I put my Appalachian stank on it and stuff and distortion, it kind of came out like this. So this part goes like this. When it comes in to introduce it, you're going to play the first part, again, just on the top two strings. And you just got to make sure that you're staying in the box. And then to accent it, you're coming back down here and hitting the octave of it. So... So one more time, that part's like this. So that's the first part. So you should be able to sing it. I find if you can't sing your guitar leads, you're probably wanking a lot, not making something memorable. So I like to make it kind of more rhythmic and memorable of things. Tom Kiefer, Dave Gilmour, kings of that kind of stuff. Like when you hear their guitar, it's like very expressive. And slide guitar is not about precision, it's about expression. So when you're doing your slide stuff, you know, you got to think that in mind. You're singing along to the part. So that is the first sing-along part that I call the traditional Gary Rosington-ish thing. If Gary would have played it, it would have probably sounded a lot more badass. But I'm not Gary Rosington, and you're not either. So, suck it. Now the next part goes into more of the punk rock thing, and this is kind of more of our thing. 'Cause like, we all came from punk bands, so like we like to kick into double time and do stuff like that, you know, kind of like speed it up, and it gets a lot more busier on slide. So when the slide gets busier, we have the guitars in the background get bit less busy and just kind of like ring some chords out. So there's a little simple chord progression in the background that matches the rest of the song. You can figure that out, and I'll cover that in another video. But this part now is something that's kind of like that I do a lot, and I call it my hybrid spirit of the radio chicken picking trick. Hybrid spirit of the radio chicken picking trick. So what I try to do is I try to mimic the vibe of a chicken pick with my right hand, and when I'm tapping with the slide on the top three strings. And it kind of reminds me, when you put the phase on it, of the beginning of Spirit of the Radio, when Alex Slave sang, it's just incredible. Rush, incredible, three-piece, Masters of the Universe. But so I want to channel something like that. So when you get to this part, you're basically just going over and you're tapping really quickly over the top three strings, and then you let it breathe, and then with some like flash and style, so you can tell you're still, you know, doing it like in a slide capacity. Since you're hitting real fast with this top hand, you can't do much string muting with this, so I do all my string muting down here with my right hand. It's all about the right hand, son. You got to use your thing on the right hand. You just can kind of touch the note after you hit it with the fat of your fingers. You kind of choke up on the pick a little bit, and you can mute the strings enough to get the vibe that you're after. So with that in mind, the way that you handle this part, it'd go like this. Kind of like that. So let's try to walk through that again and do it a little cleaner so you guys can see what's going on. Goes back to the main riff. So again. Sounds a little hoedowny, like square dancey or something. So it's so basically what you're kind of doing is you're doing sort of hammer-ons with your slide up there. So it's hard to do slow. That's just a classic blues thing at the end. But when you speed it up, it sounds more impressive. And practice that with a metronome, and you'll get it. So that's the slide parts for Scattered Hamlet's Black Flag. Go practice, do it. You can come on stage, play my parts with me so I can sit back and drink a beer. Wishing you all a happy 2021. Hope it's better than this dumpster fire that was 2020. And you're tuned into Appalachian Apostles. Thank you, Dean Guitars, and all you folks out there who bought the Wishing Well album, streamed it, and showed us some love when we couldn't be on the road this year. Respect.